welcome. I'm Marcie Besecker, an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up, and I am from Clovis, California. Thank you for joining me on this Wednesday. Thank you for being patient for me not being here on Sunday. As you know, we saw our little ones, our two youngest from Montana. Boy, did they poop us out. They were 2 and 3 years old, and they were into everything. It's funny because how different the kids are. My kids, I was very, very lucky. Even my son did not climb in stuff and climb on stuff a lot. Neither one of them did. And my grandkids are really not climbers or never really got into cabinets and stuff like that. I mean, they would go try to open the Tupperware cabinet or something, but these little ones are all boys. They wanted to climb. They brought their fire truck over, climbed up on the fire truck. They were trying to climb in and out of. We bought this really big, like 4 foot by 4 foot playpen kind of thing. I told my husband, if I leave a little brewer and go make him a bottle, he's already at my feet crawling. That's the one that's in town. And so I said, it would be nice to have something to where I could put him in and, go to the bathroom or go make his bottle or switch the laundry over or something to where I know where he's at and I've got, just a few minutes. And it actually works out really well. He loves it. So that's kind of nice. But these other ones were trying to escape. They were like putting all the toys together and climbing up on the toys to try to get out. They never got out, but we were always standing there. So it kind of worked out fine. But anyway. A lot of fun, but the poor little guys both had a terrible cough that they caught coming into town. So apparently they got sick up north before they came to see us. So anyway, hi everybody. Welcome. Let's see, there was a question. Nancy, I would love to see your card. You could message me on my blog. You could message me, Marcie at marciebesecker.com. That's my email. And you could go to my blog there. It says contact me. You could go through that way. I think even on YouTube up at the top, there's a way that you can contact me through that. So lots of different ways. I have a Facebook business page. You could go there and message me. So lots of ways that you can message me. And I would love to see it. Thank you so much for sharing, Stacy. So you guys, I noticed I'm at 9,800, just a little over 9,800 subscribers. I would love it if you could help me get to 10,000. If you are not subscribed, just go ahead and subscribe and then click the little bell next to it. It's the notification. By doing that, you'll get a notification that my videos are going live. But I also try to post it on my business Facebook page, letting you know when I'm going to be going live or if I've got it scheduled to go live. So you'll get a notice, but it's nice on YouTube because no matter where you're at, you'll know that I'm going to be live. Little escape artist. Yes, they were for sure. So yeah, they were, we had to watch them at all times. So, anyway, it was a lot of fun and we enjoyed spending some time with them. And now our next trip is in September to go see my granddaughter in Oregon. So we're really excited. They were the ones that were just here. But Mom, we built her we, as in my husband, built a greenhouse in her backyard. Well, now they're remodeling it. Greenhouse is done. We're going to put siding on it and maybe a better roof and even, I think, insulation. I'm not sure what he's doing. And we're going to paint it and it had shelves on it, but I think we're going to do like a loft kind of thing and turn it into a clubhouse for my granddaughter. Because in Oregon, it's wet and cold a lot. But she still has her friends come over and it's something a little bit different than being in the bedroom all the time or hanging out, watching TV or something. So they wanted to go do something different. So he's going to go help build that. Oh, good, Nancy. Perfect. Thank you. So let's get on with it. We've got a lot to talk about. The very first thing I want you to know is next week is bingo. So bingo, even though my picture here does not show holiday, it is going to be a holiday themed based Christmas / holiday because it's not all Christmas. There will not be Halloween, but there will be fall cards in there. So I am really excited about these cards. and a lot of awesome new product that you'll get to see early. So the kits are almost done being made, and that is next Wednesday night. Even if you are not available to play bingo, you will still get the kits and have the video to come back and create at your leisure. And those kits will go out on Thursday. It's always the day after bingo, so don't think, oh no, it's too late, I'm not going to get the kit in time. You do not get it until afterwards anyway, and I'll explain all of that on the night of bingo for you. The next thing is the Sunrise Sale class. Oh, I forgot to change my image. Darn to darn. It is actually the PDF only now. PDF and video link only, and it's only $25. I did create my new link, but oopsie poopsie, I forgot to change my my image here, so I will get that changed. And I'll go ahead and post that on my Facebook page, my business Facebook page tonight. Another exciting thing coming up is the paper share, and that is going to be coming up, and it's going to be all the papers that are available right now, the new ones, and they're going to be cut down to 6x6. You'll get a quarter of the packages of each package, all labeled and everything sent directly to you. Of course, there's a gift in there from me, and that's exciting stuff. I did remember to change the paper pumpkin, but look at me, I forgot to put the text, which is, let's see if I can correct this while we're on here, because I didn't put September. There we go, September. Yay. September paper pumpkin is going to coordinate with the fall. I think somebody told me it's fall for twall. And those are going to be, it's going to be coordinating, which is kind of nice. Look at the envelopes. Looks like it's going to coordinate with the, that suite. So, and then I look, there's a little fox over there. I don't know if that's going to be like an ephemera or a sticker, or maybe it is a stamp, and there's some acorns. Anyway, it's going to be really cute. I can't wait to get that one. So that is going to be in September. And what else do we have? Let's see. Oh, this is where you're going to get the PDF video only. So down below in my description, it's going to say Sunrise Sailing Class PDF video only. And that'll link you directly to that spot, okay? To where you can get just that specific PDF video link. But here, if you go to my blog, and at the top there where you hover over where it says bingo classes, paper share, etc., then that first link there again says bingo classes, paper share. If you click on that, it takes you to all the classes in bingo. If you scroll down where it's blackened and highlighted there, it says video PDF only. Now there is a link there in my description too that takes you to the general location of all of these that are available. So what I do is after the class is sold out, the kits are gone, I create a PDF only and video link, and that is available international. It is available to those obviously locally, and you will get, right now it's already in the receipt because the class is sold out. Once the class is sold out, I upload the PDF and the video link. And then now when you go in and pay your $25 for those links, in your receipt, make sure you look at the text because it highlights. So hover over it, and when you click on it, it's going to give you your PDF, but it's also going to give you your video link. And then that way you have it immediately. Okay, so that's already out there and available, and I have a list of classes out there that you can still get. Okay, so those are out there and available. Let's see, and share, yes, thank you. Great reminder, the in color sale. I have to tell you, I went on yesterday to go look and see what was out there because I was looking for a couple of things that I needed that were in color. There's a lot of stuff in that sale. There's ephemera packs, your Stampin' blends, there's ribbon, there's DSP that have those colors in it. And the DSP is on sale. And so go take a look. You might be pleasantly surprised at how many items. I think there's over 80 items on there that's available. So it's not just the paper and, the ink or, whatever. There's a lot of stuff on there. So I would go take a look because you never know. I think the pear paper is on there. And I want to say the celebratory sips paper, I think, is on there. Anyway, there's quite a bit. So I would go take a look and see if there's anything that you are wanting. Also, in the description below are the supplies I used. And a lot of those items are in the sale, the ones I'm going to use today. So what we're going to do is jump in and get started. But I'm going to show you my sailing celebration class so you can see exactly what the class is. And if you want to purchase the PDF and video link, you can. But today's card we're going to do is my thank you to those. So they got a kit to create this. And they got, this is their thank you card. And so it's also like their bonus project from me. I used to do a thank you card and just toss it in there that I created. Anyway, we changed it up a little bit and I've heard really good results that people are loving that. So this is the card. It opens like this and then opens like that. That's that little hidden pocket because you kind of could do it here too. This could be your background and then you could also do your banners and make that as your pop-up right there and do that. But instead, I did it like this. And I cased this. Remember when I mentioned that I was a presenter at Kevin Thiesen's summer retreat? This is one of the projects that he did. Not this, but the fold. He did it with the celebratory sips, I believe. And no, that was the other one. I'm not sure what he used with this one. But there's another card that I did in this class that I also cased from Kevin because they were two different folds that I hadn't seen. And so I was super excited to do it. And they just happened to be added to this class. So let's get busy. Let's hope my camera works. So last week I got a new video camera, the one above. And what I didn't know is I had to put my audio mixer on every page. I'm sure there's probably a better way to do it because I don't remember that having to be the case with my old microphone. But apparently on this one we do. It works, so we'll just go for it. So here we go. All right, so let me show you our cards in this class. This is the first one. And this one is one I cased off of a card. Oh, I think I took it away from here, but I showed it last week. It was a card that I did a long time ago. And so it opens like this. And then you have your writing on the back. Okay, so that's the first one. And again, the PDF gives you directions and you get pictures, but you also get a video. All right. And remember, this is also international. You can purchase that PDF video link international. This is another card that I did in a fancy fold that I did a long time ago when I went and kind of cleaned up my room. I was like, hey, I'm going to recreate that. And so I decided let's just do it with this class and we could just move that over. And so cute. That's another one. This is the other one I was talking about that Kevin, I cased from him. And it was in his private summer retreat class. And of course, this is the fold. I changed it to this. And when you open it up, you have all your boats. So here's that one, and it stands up very nicely. And then I added a panel here. You could write on the back. Isn't that cool? Isn't that a great masculine card? I was so excited to do these as, let me zoom out just a little bit. My new little zoom button here. There we go. So we have those, and then we have this one, and there's some technique with this one. And I suggested the wave folder for the class because I used it for a couple things. All right. And we did the waves at the bottom. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have this one that we're going to create today. Again, I always did my thank you cards as a video. My thank you to my customers when they buy during the month. And then my thank you cards for my classes. So I'm going to continue doing that. So that is where this is. But what's nice is now those of you that did the class, you have the kit. So have fun. All right, so today what we're going to be using is the Sunrise Sailing with our dies. Okay. And then we're going to use also the Scenic Adventure because I used a little bit of sentiments in here. I used the Let the Journey Begin. When I created this, I saw it during that retreat and I thought this would be a great retirement card for my hubby, which is what I'm going to give him in January. But then I was like, I liked it so much I had to put it in a class. And so you guys are all going to just have the same card that I'm giving my hubby because I just thought this was such a cool card. He's going to be retiring and he sails. So I thought that would be a lot of fun. All right, we're going to move this over. Now, another thing to let you know is my classes now, I had asked several people about, do you want, okay, it's going to say bonus project for those of you that have the kits. Do you want a little more hands-on? And I overwhelming got yes, we want more hands-on. I didn't go crazy with it. I did kind of do some die cutting and some different things, but we are going to have you do a little bit of stuff, okay? So we're going to start with the inside. Oh, I forgot to put Lost Lagoon as one of my papers. I don't think I have that on my list, so I will add that. We are going to add this on here. This is going to go on the inside, but we're going to do some stamping first, and then we're going to adhere it all on here. So let's just start on the inside with this. And I'm going to show you right here on the inside, let the journey begin. So we're going to use some pecan pie with let the journey, or let that and begin, and we're going to do journey in Pretty Peacock. Okay, and now I'm going to just bring you back in a little bit because you don't need to see everything. We're just going to get a little closer so you can see. All right, we're going to move that out of the way, and we're going to go right here. So bear with me as I'm kind of adjusting a few things here a little bit when I'm learning my new camera. All right, so let that and journey. So I'm going to do journey first because it's dark. And what I like is when you come in through this, you're going to see that journey nice and dark on there and kind of get a really good idea of where you're going to put what. So let's do journey first because we could make it nice and centered, and except it is so not centered on my block. So let's redo that. It doesn't have to be centered, but I need it not so crooked. All right, so we're going to do journey, and you want to leave room for writing. So I'm just going to go like right there. Okay. It's so weird. I have like one of those little skylight calendars right here, and it says it's 75 degrees outside. And so I was like, there's no way. So I looked on my phone and it's 100, but it looks like my Wi-Fi is disconnected. So I think that's where I'm looking at it right now. It says the Wi-Fi is disconnected on it. So I guess I have to fix it. But I'm like, I was outside and it is not 75 degrees. It is 100. Okay, so now let's do the let the blank begin. See how it leaves a space? This is such a great set. And that's this one here, Scenic Adventure. I did not recommend that you have this. I mean, you guys can use whatever sentiments you have. That's the hard part about the stamping. And in this set, there's a lot of great things. So we have happy retirement, and you could say you're destined for great things. You deserve the best. There's, congratulations. I chose let the adventure begin because we're going to be traveling, and this is for my hubby. And so that's why I chose this, but you choose whatever works for you. And I might have went down a little too far, but that's okay. I live with the guy, so I don't have to write a book. So I don't need it that high, so I'm good with that. Plus I have this one. All right. So that is the inside. And now we're going to add our DSP right here. And notice on your kits, I try to put the things that go on the inside on the inside. All right, so we are going to bring in our silicone mat. It has glue. We'll go to the side. It still has glue. I have been a busy person this last week getting Christmas stuff done. Somebody was asking me about what's in bingo. I can tell you we're doing an awesome Christmas card with the tractor set. Immediately I thought of that when I saw that set. So we're going to do that. The Peace on Earth set, we're doing something with that. We're doing something with the new gingerbread set, but it's not a gingerbread, so that might surprise you. And then we're using the traditional Christmas set. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's the new, really pretty poinsettia set. We'll be using that. All right. And then there's another one. I don't remember what it is right now. Because there's 5, of course. There's my bonus thank you card for you. All right. So let's add our sentiment on the inside. And then our paper. All right, we'll put that. And then your paper here. I'm going to use my blue. Is the lighting and everything okay on this for you guys? Let me know. I'm still kind of doing adjustments on it, but thank goodness the volume works, right? All right, so we're going to just trim this down right there, and let's go ahead and adhere this onto our piece right here. Now, on this one, I did it on another part of some DSP, but 2 things, to be honest. I kind of wanted to add a darker little bolger trim on this and to just tie in, but also using DSP on that for bingo is probably not the smartest because I didn't have enough. Because when I made that, I wasn't going to be doing it for bingo. And then I decided, oh, I'm going to do it for bingo. So I kind of adjusted a little bit because I liked the darker better, number 1. And number 2, it goes a lot farther for doing a bingo. All right. We don't need that. All right, so now we're going to adhere this onto here. So just act as though it's just a paper. I'm going to make sure it's folded nice and straight. You don't want to see the gold part here, on it, because then it's going to go kind of wonky. So this is going to go on our Lost Lagoon paper. So just treat it as a panel. All right. Bring that in. There we go. So Sullivan's Crossing, you guys know I was watching that. It came out with its next season. The 3rd season just came out 2 days ago. And on the 11th, and I finished it on the 12th. So now I'm sad because now I have to wait for the next one. I hope it's fast. All right, we're going to put that in there. Now we're going to open this up. And let's add our panel here inside. I love that paper too, Deb, the checkered paper. I have a bunch of this paper. As you guys know, I've used it on quite a few projects. I absolutely love it. I love the colors, and I'm all about checkers and polka dots and things like that. So, and I really like the stars too, actually. So I'm just going to go right in the middle. About there. All right. So that part is done. Now we're going to score this part. It's already scored. We're going to burnish this. Okay, so I'm going to burnish that one, and then this one's already been, but sometimes I don't burnish them or fold them open for you guys because they just ship a little bit better and flatter, and it's just nicer to do that. All right, so here we go. Now let's get our pieces that we're going to do here. This one, I'm going to show you, we did do on stars, okay? So we're going to have the stars, and I used the embossing folder. Hopefully everybody had it. I suggested it. And if you purchased from me, I wanted you to get the bundle and this folder because I use it a few times in the class. And you can just do it however you want. And then on the front panel, we're going to do this DSP here. Okay. And then I'm going to go with the more darker spots on the bottom and then put that on there. It really doesn't matter. This one happens to have a little more white. Some will, some won't. So we're going to go ahead and adhere those together. So let's do that. Now, when I saw these folds on the retreat, which I will also be presenting next year at his retreat, and I saw these folds and I was like, oh my gosh. I actually created this during his retreat because people were presenting and they were videos that were recorded and uploaded, and then there were some live presentations in between. And I actually created one of the cards that he did, this one, but I was already in the middle of trying to get this class going, and I said, oh my gosh, I'm going to do that for my class. Well, I originally started it for hubby, and then I said, oh, this is going to go in class. I just know it will because I love the fold. All right, so there are those two. So let's go ahead. We're going to stick them down. There's no reason not to. This one goes here. This one goes here. So let's do that. I like to put the base and as much as I can of that together. So might as well get all of that put together so we can set it aside and work on all the fun stuff that we're going to be doing. So this goes on the inside, which I just got some glue right there, so I'll clean that up. I must have, oh yeah, look at that. It oozed out somewhere. All right. That's why having glass is so nice. All right, so we'll clean that up later. This is going to go right here. Oh, I know where it oozed out. It's from this panel because it's the embossing folder. I put too much. I was just talking away. Got carried away. We'll just do a little extra there. We'll take out the extra and then I'll use my eraser on the rest of it that I need to. Silly me. A little excited here. A little excited with the glue. All right, so that's good. All right, now we are going to take this panel and put it on the front. All right, we'll put that one right there. Of course, you want to make sure you line them up. Okay. All right, so there's that. So here's our thing. Now let's go ahead and start on this panel because it's right here on the inside. Then we'll finish up on the top. So on this panel, you're going to need one of your banners. You're going to need one of your white banners. Okay. And then you're going to need your larger piece here and this larger piece here. And again, this is just from here. So I just like this one, you can tell has a little more blue on it or a little more Lost Lagoon. And this one is just a little more white, which if you wanted to brush it with some, you could. I'm fine like it is. And so we're going to do Happy Retirement for this. So I'm going to put this on here so we can see it well. And we're going to bring in our pretty peacock. and do happy retirement. All right, so there's our happy retirement. All right. Now, so even I did the waves on this one, but on this one, let me see if you can see it a little better if I lift it. It's the boat. It's really bright when I do it like this because it's white, but it's the boat right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the embossing folder. And the banner is already cut, because if you don't cut the banner and then you try to cut it after, you're going to flatten your image. So you want to open this up. Notice that it opens on the side. All right. We're going to put the boat right down to the bottom of your banner. So your banner is going to go there. Here's where the boat is. You want to just get it right there because you want the top of your boat on the banner, right? So I'm going to go up just a little bit and kind of get that. So now you're going to get some waves, your boat, and then you're going to get some clouds on there, but your boat is all the way on there. So you're going to close that up and remember that you need to feed it in through this way. Okay, so let me change my plates here. Oh, I forgot my fan is on. Is my fan too loud for you guys? I meant to turn that off. If this is a different camera, maybe it's not as loud for you. If you hear the fan, let me know. I can turn that off. I totally meant to do that before the video started. Because last time I realized how bad it was after the video. I could hear it. All right, so we are going to bring in our banner. And we are going to put that on here. Isn't that cool looking? All right, so I am going to put just 2 strips here. And then I'm going to put glue so that this will be a quick and easy. Thank you guys for registering for bingo. I am super excited about it. The tractor card, I mean, well, there's like, all of them are so cute. I can't wait. I love doing holiday bingo. All right, so there is that. And you're thinking, how do you have enough stuff to do holiday bingo when you can only pre-order so much? Well, very strategically. You can get 3 packs of paper, one with your suite, and then 2 extras. But if you buy the scrapbook suite too, you can get that also. Oh, you don't hear the fan at all. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, good. Because it circulates the air, which is nice. All right, so that's going to go there. And then I have a team member that also is very nice and lets me have it. If I need anything, I use hers, and then I'll replenish it when it comes back live, when we can order more, because she doesn't need it right away if it's something she doesn't need. So I'm usually very lucky that way that I can, which is fun because then I get to share it with you guys early. All right, so we're going to put that on here. And if you need to move it down, I mean, I think this is centered well, and that's just a little bit too much down there. I'm going to just sliver this off. I mean, I could have centered a little better. Sliver, one more tiny, tiny sliver. When I say sliver, that's what I'm talking about. That was one sliver. And here was the other one stuck in there. That was the other one. I'd rather sliver twice than too much. All right. Now we're going to put dimensionals on this. Okay. Has anybody noticed on your last, well, I've had these for a while. but they're stuck on the plastic. I can't get them to come up. I think they had a weird batch because this whole, well, and I've had these a long time, so it could have been an old batch that they had issues with. And that's what's so funny when I hear people say that. I go, no, mine work fine. But then I realize that I have a ton in a drawer, and the ones they're talking about, I may not even be using yet. And that's exactly what happened. Okay, and I'm just going to do one down the middle just because. Now, I try very hard to cut this straight, but don't always go by your lines, because if this is off just a little bit, that's one of the reasons why you want to cut straight, is because if it's off a little bit and you're going with the line, this may be crooked. You want this straight more than anything. Luckily, the lines are pretty darn straight, but as you can see, you have a full square here and not over here. So don't look at that for measurement. Just kind of eyeball the paper all together and get an idea. I want that higher. And get an idea of about, like I don't pull it out and measure it. I just kind of eyeball and get a good idea. All right, so there's that. And we're going to pop this up. And I did pop this up, even though it's a fancy fold. Sometimes I don't like to pop stuff up because it gives it too much dimension. But this was for hubby, and I was going to give it to him. So it really doesn't matter for me. If you choose to put that flat down, or move this up and put it down here, or move this down and put it up here, whatever works for you, so that it's not too thick. Let me just get this glue off before I glue everything together. There we go. And I think we're good. Okay. No, I can feel it. There it is. There we go. Okay. Now we're good. All right. Oh, thank you, Deb. I really, really appreciate that. Okay, so now here we go. So we have the inside done, and we have that whole back section. We have this, so we're going to set that aside, and now we're going to go here. All right, so we have our panel and our banner. So we'll set those aside for right now. We have our, again, this one has a little bit of blue on it. This is the back side of that, so we're going to set that there. This is going to be our boat that you're going to cut. And then I have white paper, and I'll show you what that's for in a minute. So let's do our ahoy in our pretty peacock. Okay, so there's our ahoy. That's going to go on that. Now we're going to bring in, let's just get our coloring done real quick. We are going to bring in a pool party. I just had it. Oh, here it is. We're going to bring in our pool party. And we are going to do a little bit of stamping. Now, if you choose a different color, you could probably do Lost Lagoon too. I wanted to brighten it up a little bit, that you can see right here. Okay, and then that way you can, it just brightens it up. I think the Lost Lagoon would have kind of toned it down a bit. So what we're going to do is bring in our banner. And we are going to do our water just across the bottom. You don't want it too much. You want a lot of sky. You've got your birds and your clouds and your boat. And the boat just goes right above the tip here. And so just make the water a little above that, because you want to make sure that you have the water. So you're going to take your waves, which there's two sets in here. This one we're going to use here because it goes all the way across pretty easily. We do use this in another one, but we're going to use this one. All right. And so we're going to do pool party. And I'm just going to go right, this little squiggle mark right here, this middle one is going to go like right here. See on this one? right? So you can get your waves to show up there. So we're going to take that and we're just going to go right about here. Okay. And then I believe I turned it upside down, but I might not have. Oh, it doesn't look like I did, but I'm going to this time because I want these squiggles to kind of go right up underneath it, but not, it doesn't have to be like touching it. Okay. So we've got that squiggle here and it's the same one over here, but it's upside down. So it looks completely different. Otherwise it would have looked exactly the same, right? Judy, I love the banner dies. Love, love, love them. And I have banner dies is going to be a big focus on my next class coming up. There's going to be something very fun with the banners in it. All right. So now what I'm going to do is we are going to take Pull Party, which I just closed for no reason. We're going to take Pull Party and I'm going to start at the bottom because I want it darker at the bottom. And I'm just going to go over it. And you can make it as dark or as light as you want. I want the water a little darker. Okay, and then I'm going to start working my way up. So dark, and I'm just going to go up to the sky, but make it lighter. All right. And I'm just going to get really light at the top. And I'm not even going to continue a whole lot up there. I'm just going to do a little bit where it's going to look a little white and puffy up there, a little darker down here, and then definitely darker on the water. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do with that. Now, if you wanted to add some blue in there or something, you could. I'm going to do a little more right here and up here, and that's it. That's all I want to do. All right, so we're going to do that. And now we're going to set that aside because we've got some other things to do before we can start with that. So now what we're going to do is we are going to create our boat. So on this one, we're going to do the medium one, which is going to be this one, because this is the big one. It does not have the mast. This is just the die cut of the stamping. So that is the medium. This one is the small, and this is the medium. Okay. We're also going to do clouds. And we're also going to do the birds. Oops. Don't let me be losing dies again. All right, so we're going to do this one here. Let me get my plates all figured out right here. All right. We are going to do the boat. And now this is where you're going to figure out your pattern of your boat. And I definitely want polka dots. So I'm going to go right here. And I want the, let's see, if we go like this, we're going to get a lot of stripes right here and just a little bit not up there, but we're going to have that stripe there. And I am actually liking that. So I'm going to do it like that. I want a lot of polka dots on my, get some texture on there. And that's just another scrap piece of that paper. We're going to take our white piece that you have. We're going to put our clouds on here. Right? So here's our clouds and our birds. All right, so this is what we're die cutting. Pecan pie for your mast for your boat. We have your sail, which is going to be this DSP. And then on the white, you're going to do the birds and your two clouds, okay? And let's go ahead and die cut all those. Make sure they don't shift around. I don't want my sail all crooked. I would want a refund if they did that. All right, here we go. That, this, and my birds are stuck inside the die, which is fine, as long as I don't lose them. All right. So we have our boat. So here's that, and there's our boat. All right, and then we have our cloud. We have a small one and a big one here. Right there. Okay, so we don't need that. And then we have our birds. And we'll leave these on here because we'll deal with those first, so we don't lose them. All right, so there's our birds. All right, so for the birds, what I did is take a smoky slate. Now, there's a couple things you can do. You can do gray granite, smoky slate, whatever works for you. And we're going to use, for this one, I'm going to just use the blends for the birds. But you could use gray granite, smoky slate, even basic gray, whatever you want. Now, I'm going to do them once, and then I'm probably going to go over them again, because I'm kind of thinking I did gray granite. This looks a little light, and I'm trying to remember. But it's on the PDF. It's probably gray granite because it is darker, so let me grab that. But the clouds, I believe I did smoky slate. Gray granite, I'm going to do the light. And this was light smoky slate. You could have grabbed the dark, I guess, but whatever you want. I see I want to do this because it's a little closer to black, but not black. So it looks a little darker and they'll show up a little bit better. So gray granite is what I used. Okay, so, and then still, if you want them darker, you can go darker. All right, so we're going to push our birds off here. Now they're a little easier not to lose because they have some color on them. Oops. All right, now I'm going to take my gray or black brush. I use the gray and the black together. And I am going to get smoky slate. Take that. I don't need those. We'll move that over. And I just want to do around the outside. So make sure your good side is up. And I'm just going to slightly just go around. You don't need them super dark. It's just against the background. See, it pops a little bit more. Oops. Than it would if it was just the white. Okay, so just go around. I just go slightly around. I really just want to get on the edges, but if a little gray gets on there, that's fine. Just don't press hard. And you want your brush to get onto that edge. Okay, so there's one. I went a little hard right there, you can see, but that's fine. All right, and then on here, just don't go on there hard. And you'll just get that little bit of a gray on there, but that edging, you'll just be able to see it a little bit better. Okay, so there's that. All right, so there are those. Now we need to put our sailboat together. All right, so for your sailboat, you do not want to see this through the background, okay? So what we're going to do, but you do want to see that little, let me see if I can bring you in closer and it not get super crazy on us. But if it gets too weird looking, let me know. All right, so we're going to take glue. And you don't need a whole lot. All right, but I'm going to go up and down this. And more so in the middle. If it's hanging, if there's no glue right there, it's going to stick. So don't worry about it. I do want to get to that tip though. Now we're going to bring our sail, and this line right here is going to go there. Okay. And you want this tip to go below that tip. So, because it's like a little ball up there. So we're going to bring that right in like that. And then I like to hold it up. Make sure you're looking at it right. Okay, so that little ball is up there. You see it. You don't see the pecan pie through the sail, right? So there's your sailboat. And trust me, the sails do go that low because sometimes you have to duck when the sails come by. Our first boat was like that, and it was not my favorite. Because my husband would be like, climb under, get to the other side, because we were about to tip over. my tush was in the water, I was like, nope, this sail is not for me. All right. The next sailboat that we have, the one we have now, is not so bad. So he was happy that I told him that he had to get a bigger one if he wanted me to go with him. He was like, oh, okay. Like, that turned out to be a plan, I think. He goes, I was so sad when you said I had to get a bigger one. I'm like, mm-hmm. All right, so I'm going to trim that up a little bit. All right, now I'm going to glue, since I'm right here with the glue. I'm just going to put a little bit on so I can move it around if I need. So what I like to do is put it down. Don't let the other side go down yet until I have it like this. That way I can just kind of move and adjust it where I want it and kind of get it in the middle, which is fine. We're going to put dimensionals. I have some little ones and some big ones. I'm going to do 2 big ones on this. Our clouds are not, but our boat is. So we're going to do little ones across here. If you do them just right, they fit. So I'm going to do 3 just because that little part right there is super weak. So you want to make sure that I'm going to make sure I have some adhesive right there. Oh, that's probably too close to this one, but that's okay. And then I take little half ones here because this is a little piece. So if you need to make your small dimensionals, when you cut them in half, cut them like more like 1/3 and 2/4 that way, or 2/3, so that you have a little more room on your I guess I could have put a big one there. Let's see. That's DSP, so be careful. We're gonna move that one up here, put a big one down here, and put a big one here, and a little one up here. And then I do another little half one, which this one is pretty skinny right here. And I just go right up against that right there. Okay, doesn't have to go all the way to the top, but you want to have it pretty secure there. All right, so now let's go ahead and put our clouds on, because if you notice, we're going to be cutting a cloud off. So you want to make sure you do that before you adhere it, okay? Yeah, it did break his heart, yes. He wanted, he was happy getting a larger one, but he also was like, oh yeah, I know how to sail, because he used to sail a long time ago. And I'm like, well, that was a long time ago, and I felt like I was going in the water. All right, so we're going to put some glue here, and I'm going to go a ways. Okay, so I'm going like to right there, and we are going to, I'm going to put that here, and I'm going to put this right along that line so it's nice and straight, and then I can cut it. Okay, so that's good, because that's probably lower than I needed it, but that's okay. And then we can put this one up higher is all. I like one lower, one higher. So we'll put this one higher up here. And so I'm just going to glue. Now what you could do is you could do that and then switch the halves, right? So I just want to make sure that all my glue is covered. So we're going to do it this way up towards the top. Okay, so now when we cut them, we could take this half over here and this half down here too. So, all right, we're going to take this off. It always looks more natural like this than the whole cloud just there. But see what I mean? You could turn them upside down too, but you could do this one here and this one up here, like if these weren't here, or on the inside or whatever. So it's always nice to have those clouds that you could still use them. All right, now let's put our boat and our sentiment on, because the birds go last, because you can kind of fill those in. Oh, but you know what? First, let's go ahead and adhere this, because it's easier to glue when it is doesn't have everything lumpy on the front. So let's go ahead and add our adhesive. Look and see how easy this is. Almost done. I know a lot of people go, oh, I don't know, the cards are so difficult. And then it's so funny, I get so many messages from people that do the classes and say, it took a little extra steps, but it wasn't hard. I did it. And they're so happy. So I'm so glad. And it just seems like it's hard, but it's not. It's just a few extra steps. All right, so let's put our boat without losing our birds. Did you guys see that I found my die that I lost during my unboxing? Yep, it was stuck on the DSP. I guess the stickiness from the packaging, I might have had just a little tiny bit on it still, I guess. All right, we're going to put this little guy. Uh-oh, I see that dimensional right there, and I don't like that. So we're going to trim it. Just this one. There we go. All right. All right, so we're going to go down in the water. Okay, now remember this guy, see how flimsy he is? Just be really careful. And if your boat goes on crooked, trust me, sailboats are always crooked, so don't worry about that. All right, so there's that. Let's add our ahoy on here. We're just going to put that right about, I guess I'm covering up my little polka dot right there, but we're going to show that one, so that's okay. I just want to add a little, keep a little space over there. And now here's where our birds are going to come in. So let's think about this. All right, so I'm going to add some glue up here. And maybe a little bit more. And we are going to figure out where our birds are going. I don't know why. I have so much that always keeps coming out. We're just going to kind of. All right, so think about where you want your birds. You have 3. This one here to me looks a little bigger, so I'm going to have him come closest. So I'm going to have him towards the bottom. So let's get this one, and I'm going to get it. You don't want to get a whole lot on it, but you want to make, oh, he just fell right in there. But then you can just tap him off to get a lot of extra glue off. I'm just going to put this little guy right here. Because my clouds are a little lower than what they were on the other one. So we're just going to, okay, and then just pick them up and then dap them off right there. All right, and we're going to put this guy kind of coming in this way. You know, they never all fly the same way. They're all kind of all over the place. And then this guy is a lot smaller. So we're going to move him. Get him all wet. I'm going to put him up here in the corner. Like he's coming. He's just a little farther away. All right. And then I need to wipe my glue off right there. This guy had a little too much. A little glue happy. I'll wait till that dries and I can fix it. All right, so there's that. Your guys' packages are all packaged up. They are ready to go. They are going out tomorrow. Yay! I actually ended up needing to get more embellishment. Sometimes I plan that there's going to be a lot of embellishments. A lot of kits, and then you never know how they're going to sell. So I don't want to have, an extra 40 packs of the same embellishment. So I ordered a bunch, but I had to go back on and order more. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this on here, but I'm going to flip it over. Okay, luckily it's symmetrical. It's the same size, right? So I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to lay it. You want it to line up to hide the one behind it or close. It doesn't have to be exact. But I'm going to go about right there. So I'm going to hold that down. And then I'm going to put my glue. Now we're going to put it on this side because we're going to flip it back over, right? So, and I'm not going all the way up to that line. I'm just going to go about right here. And then I'm just going to go around the edges lightly. Okay. But then I'm going to put a bit on the inside. Okay. So a little bit on the outside. You definitely want it to stick, so it doesn't have to be thick. Okay. And then I did thicker on the inside so that it will hold. All right. So now when you turn it over, this side has glue. Hold that down if you want. Hold the block on there, whatever's going to help you. Remember, we need to line up over here. So I'm going to go like this and like that. Make sure it's aligned and then come and hold that. See, now I don't see anything. I don't see the other banner. So I'm going to make sure that that is like that. I'm going to open it up. It looks fine. So I'm going to turn it like this. I'm going to make sure it's straight though. Because see how that was a little bit crooked. And it's definitely going to cover your banner though. That's what's nice about liquid glue. This probably could have went up a little bit. I was really concerned about this and not as concerned about the top, but I think we are okay. This should probably go up a little if I can get it to go up. And I think I did. There. Okay. So now, sorry, my head got in the way. So now this is covered. If it's straight down, I know that this camera comes at an angle kind of like this a little bit. So it's going to like, you can't see it if it's straight, but from your angle, it probably looks kind of wonky. But there we go. Now you're also going to get your gems. Now if I can find the gems that I used, because you are going to get a package of these to go on the cards. If you've already looked at the video, you know that I am sending you these because I thought they matched really well. And we're just going to add our little pecan pie matte dots right here. And there we go. Right, to Shauna, it's such a fun fold. I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. So I just had to share it with you guys. So thank you, Kevin, for such a great project and a great fold. Remember, whenever you see a fold, you can change it to go and match up with whatever you are using. You might be using, the sailboat set. You might be using flowers or a holiday. Don't be surprised if you don't see this in a holiday class, because I'm really loving the fold. And so it's just so cute. And I do have another fold that's going to be in one of my, in my next class that is very unique. And I saw somebody do it and I was like, oh my gosh. So remember, number one, when we put our projects out there, case away. That's why we do it. We want you to case it. Of course, we want you to buy the supplies. I mean, that's what we're in business, right? But more so, have fun with it and use what you have and create, case the projects. And, obviously it's very nice to try to give credit where credit is due and where you got it. Now, did Kevin create this? I don't know. He may have gotten it someplace else and he may have said even during the retreat and I missed it, but I saw it from Kevin. So that's who I give credit to. And so whenever I see it, or if I do one, I might say I've seen it in multiple places because I maybe didn't get the exact idea from, Susie, but Susie's, the way she folded something or did something may be different than what I saw Joan do. So, you just got to kind of, sometimes you watch a video or you see a project and you're like, I think I can figure that out. But I'm going to twist it and I'm going to change this or that or whatever. So anyway, that kind of gives you an idea. Let's see. I saw a question. Okay. So somebody's answering that there's a PDF, Kathy. Yes. So this was my thank you card for my class for the Sunrise Sailing class. The class has been sold out. So those that did purchase the class with the kits, they got the kit, but you can still purchase the PDF and the video link. It's a private video to all of the class projects, and I'll quickly show them to you again. And you will get a PDF for all of them. So this is one of the cards that is in that class. This was a card I did a long time ago and I cased it. This was another one that I got a fold from Kevin. And then here was a really cool fold. And then there's the sentiment you can write on the back. Then this was a fold I did with flowers long, long ago for a swap at convention. And I changed it to work with the sailboat class. And then we did some masking and some little bit different techniques on this card. And so all of those, including today's, is what you will get on the PDF and the private video link to the class. This is not a private video link. This is on YouTube today because this is my thank you card for those that participated in the class. And I always show that card on a video. And I just decided to start sending the kits instead so people can, have another kit and have fun to play with it. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys liked it. Let's see. So don't forget the end color. Don't forget bingo is next week. So don't forget that. It is going to be holiday based. There will not be Halloween. I know a lot of people ask me because they don't do Halloween. There will not be Halloween in it because I know a lot of people don't do Halloween. And I'm not a big Halloween person. I usually buy, of course, I have to say the suite this year is adorable. And I will be creating cards for my grandkids, but I don't want to buy a whole bunch of extra stuff. One of the things I will share with you in the upcoming class is it's going to be a little more hands-on like this one was, and maybe even a tiny bit more, because I found myself purchasing, let's say, 30 packages of DSP to get a class done. And, that's 2 sheets each and 6 cards for a panel, but it depends on what the project is. Like there's one of the projects in there that I really like, but it's a lot of DSP. But you're requested to purchase the suite, which has the DSP, which is maybe 1 or 2 sheets of paper for a project, for this particular project. And so it makes sense that I'm just going to have you cut a half a sheet from this piece of paper and maybe a couple little images from this piece of paper, instead of me ending up with 30 extra packs of paper with a sheet and a half out of each of them. I hope that makes sense. I've done a lot of talking with other people, and that's what they do. They're like, we're not going to buy all that paper. And I'm like, I've been doing that, which is just silliness. And so obviously with the cost changing, shipping changing, I'm trying to not change prices on anything. I'm trying to keep everything the same or close to it, because I know now you get Stampin' Rewards and there's all these different changes, but we're trying to move with the times. So I hope you understand that I'm going to probably have you dig a little more into your DSP and maybe whatever's in that suite, maybe your ribbon and your gems, but you're going to get everything else from me. You're going to get your cardstock. You're probably still going to get some DSP and products from me on certain projects. So I hope that makes sense. Let's see. Halloween is our biggest decorating holiday, but I don't make many cards for it. Oh, Annie, that's nice to know. Yeah, a lot of people, we usually go with the grandkids, and so we go and do stuff with the local ones, and so we're not here. Last year we were here because they went with some friends. Now that Grayson's getting older, he's got a little buddy and their parents, and they all go together. And so we just stay home and hand out candy. Last year. It was a lot of fun. Has the class been mailed yet? It is going out tomorrow, Dolores. The class is going out tomorrow. It's already packaged. Everything's done. I do my last checklist, like registration to mail, and make sure that they're all on there. And then I'm going to, and I did that. That's all good. But I'm going to go to my PDF and all that kind of stuff and make sure that everybody's gotten their email. A couple last people that just joined, they don't have it. So I'll mail those out. But if you purchase the PDF video link now, it will be in your receipt. So make sure you scroll down, and when you see that it says you got the Sunrise Sailing class, click on that. That is your link, and you're gonna get your PDF, and you're gonna get your video link in your receipt. So look for that. All right, I want to make sure I don't have any other questions that I might have missed, because I thought I saw another one. Oh, good, Tishon. I hope you do try it out. It's a lot of fun. I suggest using, as I did, the DSP for this, and not cardstock, because you're already going to be layering something on top, and that's going to give it that weight, but it's not going to thicken your card. I did a card for my upcoming class, and it's pretty thick because there's two of them that are super fancy folds. And I'm rethinking one of them. One of them's not too bad, but the other one is a little thick. And I'm rethinking that I might take that panel and change it to like two-tone paper, because then you can put your layering on it. The original person did not layer it up or put, 2 layers on it, which is probably so it's not so thick. So, there's options you can do, which is what's fun in a class. I'll send it to you. You don't have to use it. Let's see. I thought there was one more question. If there is, ask it again, because I'm scrolling and I don't want to get here all day looking for it. But I thought I saw one more question. I just saw a question mark. So, does the PDF have measurements for the card you did tonight? Yes, it does. Yes. So when you take a class from me, the bonus project will also be on there, and with all the measurements. But for this card in particular, it's the last project, and it'll say bonus project, and I'll have all your measurements and everything on there for you. Oh, thank you, Dolores. Did you do a video for the July paper pumpkin? Dolores, I have not. I've been gone a lot with grandkids and that kind of thing. Getting this class done, getting bingos done. I do have some paper pumpkins I need to get to. I don't think I've done like the last 2, maybe 3. So I'm planning on trying to get back to those. I am working on next month's bingo and another class, but that will be coming up on one of my videos. Yes. All right, everybody. I think that is it for questions. If you have any other questions, let me know. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I will be here on Sunday. Saturday is football day. Oh, I didn't tell you guys. So Saturday, my son, my grandson had his football carnival opening, which I was going to go to. Papa watched the other 2 little ones, but I ended up watching Brewer at their house because these boys had coughs. So I watched Brewer because it was 107 outside, and then they ended up calling the game. The boys never even got to play the game because his first game would have been 1 o'clock because it was 107, and they had 7 I would say bystanders, but one of them was a cheerleader, passed out, and ambulances taking people away, and it was crazy. So my son said, I don't think people know how to hydrate their kids, because my grandson had 2 huge bottles of water the day before and then water day of, which my son's played a lot of sports, so he knows. But anyway, that they canceled it. It was just too hot to have all these children out there playing, which I was surprised they were doing that anyway. But anyway, so that was kind of crazy, but I got to spend some time with Brewer. So, all right, everybody, thank you so much. I will see you on Sunday. Have a great rest of your week. Don't forget, check out the in-color sale, sign up for bingo, and the paper share. Don't forget the paper share. You do have until September the 2nd. That evening, I will be ordering, so make sure you can register now knowing that you want to do it. If you're not able to pay until closer to the date, that is perfectly fine. I will contact you and say, hey, need the money by, whatever, Tuesday. But this way you're on the list, you're registered, you're signed up, and I can kind of get an idea of how many people and all that good stuff. I like to make the labels ahead of time and have them ready to go when the paper comes, so you get your paper immediately. So, all right, everybody, have a great rest of your week.